Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Julio Iglesias, a timeless icon of romantic music. Julio José Iglesias de la Cueva, born on September 23, 1943, in Madrid, is one of the most successful and influential singers in the history of Latin and international music. With a career spanning over 5 decades, he has sold hundreds of millions of records worldwide and become a global symbol of romance, elegance, and emotional expression. Early life and a life-changing turning point before becoming a singer. Julio Iglesias dreamed of becoming a professional athlete. As a young man, he served as a goalkeeper for Real Madrid's youth football team. His promising sports career, however, came to an abrupt end when he was involved in a severe car accident that left him temporarily paralyzed. During the long months of recovery, a nurse gave him a guitar to help him regain hand mobility. This simple gesture awakened a passion he had never fully explored. Music became both therapy and destiny. Soon after, he began writing songs, performing locally, and rediscovering his life's purpose. Rise to stardom. Julio Iglesias' breakthrough came in 1968 when he won the Benidorm International Song Festival with his original song, La Vida Sigue Igual. The victory led to a recording contract and the release of his debut album in 1969. In 1970, he represented Spain at the Eurovision Song Contest with the song, Gwendolen, which helped introduce him to a wider European audience. He soon became known across the continent for his warm voice, heartfelt delivery, and multilingual talent, recording songs in Spanish, English, French, Italian, German, and Portuguese. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, Iglesias had become an international sensation. His version of Begin the Beguini became a major hit in the United Kingdom, bringing him to the attention of English-speaking audiences. Global success and musical legacy. Julio Iglesias' global popularity soared with the release of the 1984 album 1100 Bel Air Place, which featured collaborations with stars like Willie Nelson and Diana Ross. The duet To All the Girls I've Loved Before became one of his most recognizable songs, earning worldwide acclaim and reaching high positions on international music charts. Throughout his career, Iglesias recorded more than 60 albums and performed in thousands of concerts across the globe. He became celebrated not only for his smooth vocals but also for his ability to connect emotionally with audiences. Signature hits that defined his career include Hey, Me Olvidé de Vivir, La Carretera, Lo Mejor de Tu Vida, Crazy, Caruso. His romantic ballads, delivered with charm and sincerity, solidified him as one of the great interpreters of love songs. Personal life and family. Julio Iglesias has 8 children and has been married twice. From his first marriage to Isabel Preisler, he has 3 children, Chabeli, Julio Jr., and Enrique Iglesias. Enrique would go on to become one of the most successful pop artists of his generation, carrying forward the family's musical legacy. Julio later married Dutch model Miranda Reinsberger, with whom he has 5 children. Despite global fame, he has always kept parts of his personal life private, preferring to let his music speak for him. Awards and achievements. Julio Iglesias is one of the best-selling artists of all time. His career achievements include Grammy and Latin Grammy Awards, World Music Awards recognition in the Guinness World Records as one of the top-selling Latin artists in history, countless platinum and gold certifications worldwide. His mastery of multiple languages and genres made him one of the first truly international entertainers. Later years and ongoing influence. Even in his later years, Julio Iglesias remains an iconic figure in global music. Though he performs less frequently, He continues to inspire new generations of artists and maintains a devoted worldwide following. His songs endure because they capture universal emotions, love, nostalgia, longing, and because his voice carries a sincerity that transcends borders and time. Conclusion: Julio Iglesias' journey, from a young athlete facing adversity to a legendary singer adored around the world, is one of resilience, passion, and artistic brilliance. He redefined romantic music for generations and became a bridge between cultures through his multilingual artistry. His legacy continues to shine, making him not just a star of his era, but a timeless figure in world music. Julio Iglesias. The elegance, emotion, and endurance of a global star. Julio Iglesias is not merely a singer, he is a cultural phenomenon. For decades, he has been synonymous with international romance and musical sophistication. His voice, instantly recognizable and effortlessly smooth, has accompanied millions through moments of love, heartbreak, celebration, and reflection. Few artists have shaped the global music landscape as profoundly as Iglesias, whose career represents the very essence of multilingual artistry. Early artistic development. The birth of a global performer. The turning point of Julio's life, his accident and the unexpected discovery of music during rehabilitation, gave him a sense of purpose that would define his artistic identity. Music became his second chance, and he embraced it with gratitude and intensity. From the moment he stepped onto a stage, his presence was magnetic. His posture, smile, and soft-spoken charisma made audiences feel he was singing directly to them. Unlike many emerging artists of his era, Iglesias adopted an international mindset from the beginning. He wanted to reach every heart, regardless of language, and this ambition guided his artistic path. International breakthrough, building a pan-European star throughout the 1970s. Julio Iglesias dominated European charts. His early albums, filled with tender ballads and elegant arrangements, became staples in Spain, France, and Italy. His ability to switch languages with ease allowed him to build a fan base that transcended borders, a remarkable achievement in a pre-internet era. By the mid-1970s, Iglesias was one of Europe's most recognizable entertainers. He performed on major television shows, filled concert halls, and became a beloved figure in households across the continent. His refined image, a combination of Mediterranean warmth and gentlemanly poise, made him a symbol of style as much as music. Conquering the Americas. A new chapter of stardom. The next leap in Julio Iglesias' career came as he set his sights on Latin America and the United States. His first tours in Latin America attracted tens of thousands of fans, and he quickly emerged as one of the most important voices in Spanish-language music. In the early 1980s, he began recording albums in English, a bold step that dramatically expanded his global reach. His pronunciation, though accented, became part of his charm. Rather than perfecting an American sound, he brought his own cultural flavor into English music, something audiences appreciated. This chapter culminated with the album 1100 Bel Air Place, a landmark in his career. Featuring duets with major American icons, it introduced him firmly into the mainstream of the U.S. music industry and became one of his best-selling records. For many English-speaking fans, this album was their first encounter with the romantic power of Julio Iglesias. Master of the stage. Concerts that defined an era. Julio Iglesias is renowned for his live performances. His concerts often feel intimate, even in massive arenas. Known for leaning toward the audience, softly touching his chest, and closing his eyes during emotional lines, he delivers songs as if reliving their stories. He is also famous for his extensive touring. At the height of his career, He sometimes performed more than 200 concerts a year, an almost unimaginable schedule. His dedication to performing helped him build loyal followings across continents. From Europe and the Americas to Asia and the Middle East, audiences appreciated not only his music but also his graciousness. He often spoke humbly on stage about his life and thanked fans for giving meaning to his songs. This sincerity became a key part of his appeal. A distinctive voice and artistic style. Julio Iglesias' vocal style is one of the most recognizable in modern music. His voice is not overly powerful or technically complex, but it carries warmth, vulnerability, and elegance. His phrasing is smooth, and he delivers lyrics with emotional nuance rather than dramatic force. His songs range from orchestral ballads to soft pop, always emphasizing themes of love, longing, nostalgia, and romantic memory. He often chooses arrangements with strings, gentle percussion, and melodic piano lines, which complement his velvety tone. Cultural impact and influence. Julio Iglesias paved the way for numerous Latin artists, many of whom credit him for opening international doors. His son Enrique Iglesias, along with artists like Luis Miguel, Shakira, and Ricky Martin, benefited from the trail he blazed in global markets. More than a musician, Julio became a cultural symbol. A symbol of international romance, often associated with elegance and sophistication. A multilingual ambassador, proving that music can transcend language. A global entertainer, performing in more countries than almost any artist of his generation. A cross-cultural icon, respected in Spanish-speaking communities, European cities, American venues, and Asian markets. His name has become part of pop culture, referenced in films, television shows, and media as the epitome of the classic romantic singer. Private life, values, and personality. Despite his global fame, Julio Iglesias has long valued privacy. Known for his polite manners and gentlemanly behavior, he carries a calm and thoughtful presence in interviews. He often speaks about the importance of discipline, gratitude, and resilience, values shaped by his early struggles. His relationships, particularly with his children, show his influence as a father. Enrique Iglesias has frequently spoken about inheriting strength, passion, and work ethic from Julio. Julio Jr. followed in his footsteps in the entertainment world, while his older daughter Chabeli became a well-known journalist and television personality. With his second wife, Miranda Reinsberger, Julio built a stable and serene family life. Away from the spotlight, focusing on raising their 5 children in a quieter environment. Late career and enduring relevance. Even as he ages, Julio Iglesias remains a living legend. Though he performs less frequently, his albums continue to sell, and new generations discover his music through streaming platforms. His influence stretches far beyond his discography. He is a symbol of timeless romance and artistic dedication. He has expressed a desire to continue making music for as long as he can and has hinted at new projects, memoirs, and retrospective releases that could offer deeper insight into his extraordinary life. A legacy carved in music history. Julio Iglesias' contributions to music are monumental. One of the best-selling artists of all time, a pioneer in multilingual recording, a unifying cultural figure across continents, a master interpreter of love songs and inspiration to countless artists across generations. His story is one of reinvention, resilience, and devotion to his craft. From the tragedy that ended his sports dreams to the triumph that made him a world star, Julio Iglesias turned adversity into art. Julio Iglesias, the life, mystique, and mastery of a global romantic legend. Few artists in modern music possess the combination of myth, elegance, and global resonance that defines Julio Iglesias. More than a vocalist, He is a storyteller of love, a symbol of European charm, and an entertainer whose career spans over 5 decades and crosses linguistic, cultural, and generational boundaries. Julio Iglesias is not simply a musician who became famous, he is an institution, a brand of romanticism, a man whose voice helped define an era. To understand his impact, one must look not only at his music but also at the mystery woven around his persona, the extraordinary discipline behind his success, and the emotional intelligence that allowed him to connect with millions. The accident that forged a legend, the moment that changed Julio Iglesias' life, is almost cinematic. A young, handsome goalkeeper for Real Madrid's youth team, athletic and full of promise, suddenly finds his future shattered by a catastrophic car accident. He could not walk, he could not play, he could barely move. Doctors were unsure if he would ever live normally again. Yet in this darkest moment, the foundations of a legendary artistic career were laid. The guitar placed in his hands during recovery was not merely an object, it was salvation. He often said later in interviews, "Music gave me a second life." The vulnerability, sensitivity, and melancholy that characterize his songs trace back to this experience. Julio Iglesias does not sing love from fantasy, he sings it from the perspective of someone who has confronted loss and rebirth. Becoming a world artist. The unstoppable rise. Julio's early fame in Spain was fast, but his international career was a phenomenon. It unfolded in phases, each expanding his cultural domain. Phase 1. The European heartthrob, late 1960s to 1970s. His early albums turned him into a romantic idol in Spain, France, and Italy. With songs full of tenderness, nostalgia, and poetic simplicity, he tapped into the continental tradition of chanson and Mediterranean balladry. He dressed elegantly, he sang gently, he seduced with presence rather than showiness. By the mid-1970s, he had become a household name across Europe. Phase 2. Conquering Latin America, 1970s to 1980s. Latin America, with its emotional, expressive musical culture, embraced Julio deeply. His concerts in Mexico, Argentina, Venezuela, and Chile drew enormous crowds. He became one of the most beloved international artists in the region, an honor reserved for very few. Spanish-speaking audiences felt he was one of their own, even though he was European. His voice carried the same romantic spirit that Latin audiences cherished. Phase 3. The English-speaking breakthrough, 1980s.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.